Security. As I said in a previous video, that you shouldn't push your changes on the backend application to the remote repository. Now we're gonna solve that issue. So log into your remote repository, go into your repository for your backend project. In my case, it was Java API. And our project is connected, our repository, online repository is connected with SonarQube. So as you can imagine, to run the process of checking your code via SonarQube, Sonar Cloud, somehow Sonar Cloud has to add security credentials to be able to connect with AWS database. One way we could do that was just to send all those details to the remote repository, and then Sonar Cloud can use it. But as I said earlier on, any other user which will check your online repository can use this data and do some malicious things. So we don't want that. So as I said, go to your remote repository, to your project, and then click Settings and Secrets. And we will add, we've got one secret for Sonar Token, but we have to add some other secrets here. Let me see. Okay, so new repository secret. We will call it AWS. Maybe AWS AWS DB password, and the value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The value has to be your password for the database that we have created in the previous video. Just as I said, this password is just for the tutorial. I'm gonna change it later on, and I will create some very difficult password to break. So remember about that. So AWS DB password, add secret. New repository secret, another one will be AWS DB user. So the value was admin. I'm gonna change it later on as well. It was lowercase letter. Admin, add secret. Okay, and there's one more credential you want to add, is use repository secret, AWS DB URL. And just bear in mind, as I said earlier on, if you will stop your database and reboot it later on, that value is gonna change, so you have to update that secret again and again and again. And as I said, when you are working with Workbench, you have to do that, and you have to do the same thing here. That's an issue. It's something that takes time, but for the security reasons, you have to do that. The other option is, of course, to get a paid version of database from AWS. I think monthly is something around £30, and just pay it, and then you would have Constance URL, which you can use all the time. Okay, enough of that. So what we are gonna put it here. So go back to your backend, and yes, and copy all of that, all of this. Control C, paste, add secret. Okay, that was one thing. So this will solve the issue with our Sonar Cloud, but we have to somehow inform our local system. We have to provide those credentials to our local system as well. So we have to go back to our precious environmental variables and edit the system environmental variables, and earlier on we have added, those M2 home and Maven home, so now we're gonna have new. And first was AWS DB password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. AWS DB password. It's very crucial to make sure those names are correct. Okay. Another one. AWS DB user, and that was admin. Okay, and the last one was AWS DB URL, and it was this one here. So Control C and Control C, Control V. Okay, so AWS DB password, AWS DB URL, AWS DB user. Okay, okay. And now go back to your Java, to your application properties, and we have to edit that file. So for our URL, we have to type $. That will inform IntelliJ to look for this variable in environmental variable of this local system, and that was AWS DB URL. Made a mistake. DB URL for the username. $, open curly brace, AWS DB user, and for the password, $ and curly brace, AWS DB password. The next thing which we have to edit is that our YML file from the Sonar Cloud to be able, Sonar Cloud, to operate, to perform its task, its job. So, AWS DB URL $, secrets, because this is coming straight from the remote repository. Secrets AWS DB URL. Next, AWS DB password colon $, secrets AWS DB password, and the last one was AWS DB user colon $, open curly braces, secrets AWS DB user. So if I haven't performed any typo, that should be correct. Okay, so as I said, I've typed all the details here. So first of all, we'll check if it will work locally. I mean, we'll run our application. We'll see by we'll check by Swagger if we are able to connect with database. So start the application. Start the application, and we've got an issue. So I have to figure it out when I've performed a mistake somewhere. And I think where so I have to restart the application. So I've restarted the application. I'm gonna run it again. The restart process was necessary to be able to IntelliJ detect our new variables that we've provided for our applications. As you can see, the server started, and look into our application properties. There are not even a single information which would be dangerous for our system, which means the application grabs that information from the from our local environmental variables. But let's check if it's actually work. So I've got the shortcut for my Swagger. Then go back to the browser. I think you don't want to watch Michael Jordan now. Gonna open new Google window, type the Swagger, and let me see, car control. There's nothing inside, so we have to post something. Because now we are connecting with our AWS database, and it's basically empty. It consists just 2 tables, but those tables are empty. So we don't need ID. I think we have to click try out. No ID, speed 100, and execute 200. Okay, so go back to the car controller and get all cars, try it out, execute. Yes, we've got a response, which means we've just connected with our AWS database, and we haven't provided any secure information from our applications. So that was one thing. The next thing is that we would have to check our Sonar Cloud, but that will take a while. So I'm gonna stop the application, and now we are ready to push our code. Terminal, git add, git commit, I'm using AWS DB secure connection, git push. So as you can see, I've got some errors. I've had errors earlier on, as I've told you. I have written in the feedback that because we are connecting with local database, Sonar Cloud is not gonna work, but now we are performing connection to the real database with real IP address, and I hope it will work fine this time. So the process is taking place. Okay, build success. Yeah, that's excellent. I wasn't sure if it will work, but eventually it works correctly. Build success, so we can go back to our maybe not go back, but we can go to our Sonar Cloud, login, thing, GitHub. December 19, Java API, 23%. Okay, the coverage is -6. It is not important now. Important thing is that we were able to connect to the Sonar Cloud once again, providing the security credentials. So Sonar Cloud was able to connect with database, and as I said, everything is secured because we've got once again our application settings, secrets, and those are our secrets. And we also got our environmental variables, and here are our environmental variables. So that's nearly everything for this tutorial. There's one more thing. So today I have finished my work, so there's nothing else I'm gonna do. So I want to stop my database, so I'll show you how I'm doing this. So I have to open my database credentials. No, not database, user credentials. Okay. Sign in, MFA code. And now I have to leave it up to you, because this will be up to you next time to update URL in the Git remote repository. You have to update the secret with the new URL that you are gonna receive next time when you will run the database, and you also have to update the local environmental variable in your system. This is not what I'm gonna perform again, as from this point I'm gonna use my own secure credentials, which I will not share with you any longer. Okay, so 941621. Come on. That's other keyboard. I used to work with different keyboards on this computer. 365638. Okay. By the way, I can. It stopped already. So RDS. DB instances, DB backend, and actions, stop. Are you sure you want to stop the backend now? Create snapshot, no. Bear in mind that after 7 days the database will run again. So you have to control your AWS account. Just remember that. So yes, stop now. Okay. 5. So basically, at this moment, I've stopped using that free, that 750 hours, which I've received for free. So next time, so that's it. Because I've performed the stop operation, I'm not using my free of charge access from AWS database. To run it, I just have to then create reboot. It's stopping now, so that option is not available, but when the stopping process will end, then I can click reboot. That endpoint gonna change, so I have to update my environmental variable and the Git secure options. Yeah, I know I'm repeating myself, but this is very important. You have to perform those steps again and again every time you're gonna reboot the database. And I'll see you soon.